Hey everybody, this is Eric, and we're going to do a review of the tournament at Spooky Nook from this past weekend. And again, I apologize for the weekend before, but we weren't able to get too many games up there. And unfortunately, this is the reality of the 15s. The way Baller TV works and all the streaming services work is they do have, well, I shouldn't say limited. They should have enough cameras for every court, but I guess when they have to prioritize, they do prioritize the 17s and then down to the 16s and then the 15s. But I did a little extra work this week to make sure that we got all three at least. We had to piece it together from different footage, but in any case, we got it done. And again, just to give you guys a little bit of context here, the purpose of doing this is a little different, I think, for this age group as opposed to the older group. And the reason for that is I'm not quite as a stickler for perfect shot selection and things like that as you guys are still growing. I would love for you guys to be able to just shoot nothing but layups or threes. But the fact is that some of you are still not strong enough to shoot threes without extending yourself a little bit too much. So it's not that big of a deal. But I still think it's important to educate you guys on what good shots are and what good shots should be. And from the coach's perspective here, the fact of the matter is that even if the kids can't really take the threes with complete comfort, it's still going to be a better shot than taking it just inside the line. And the math just kind of works out as far as that goes. Also, you guys are still kind of young and not young. I mean, we're all young, okay, but you can use these huddle things to make fun clips and highlight reels and things like that. Don't worry about using it for the recruiting or anything like that. You're only 15 years old. Your kids are only 15 years old. Just chill. Just enjoy. I would say that to you when you're 17, 18, 19, and 20 as well, but nonetheless. And you see, by the way, this makes me really happy. Some of you, or I don't know, it's just the coach or whatever, but between the coach and the parents, you're able to make clips without me even showing you what to do here. I mean, you guys figured this out pretty easily, I think. Like I did not make the Jake Elwood 3-point shot attempts. Could have been one of the coaches, could have been the parent, whatever, it doesn't matter. The fact is you can click through really easily and make these highlight reels. But what I enjoy is doing the analysis of these games to help teach coaches and all the whole basketball communities what good shots look like and what good approaches look like, and we can look at individual statistics as well. So let's get into this. We have three games here, and let's start with this team final game, which was obviously they're really really tough, but excuse me, but the reality is that these numbers don't lie. So what I mean is that if you are going to want to be competitive against these teams, you're going to have to make these benchmarks that I talked about before. And those benchmarks are actually, this is not bad. So let's talk about this. What you need to have is an effective field goal percentage of your age group, about 45%. And in this game, you were not bad. The problem is with these other two factors, and 39% turnover rate. It doesn't, I mean, this actually could be the worst turnover rate I've seen in, I have to think about this, but between all the Crown teams and the teams that I ran for 5 years, I think this is the worst turnover rate I think I've ever seen. It is what it is. I'm just reporting it. So we definitely have to look into this. But the reality is that if you're going to turn the ball over at a turnover rate of 39.4%, you're just never going to have enough shots to win the game. And here you wasted kind of a good effective field goal percentage, or good enough or close, because you weren't able to get any shots off because you turned the ball over a lot. And also this offensive rebound percentage, which we want around 25%, 8.7% is just not going to do it. So, I mean, listen, we could talk about high level math all you want, but what this comes down to is that it doesn't matter how well you're shooting if you are getting no shots off, right? Because you're either turning the ball over, or if you miss, you're just not getting a second chance. You're just never gonna, you're never gonna get enough points to win the game. Not to mention only 3 free throws. So listen, this is what happens, unfortunately, when you play a team that has all kinds of athleticism, like the team that you played. But this is something to take from this is that is the 32 is the 40%, 42% effective field goal percentage is actually pretty good. Um, we do have to dive into the turnover rate here, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's take a look at the shot chart. Um, again, what we're looking for is actually what we're getting. You know, what I try to impress upon you guys early is to try to avoid these bad twos, these shots just inside the 3-point line or even inside, the lane over here that are not layups because they're only worth 2 points. And you don't really make them that much more often than these threes. So, like these 3 shots were really the only 3 shots that, statistically, I wouldn't want you taking. Out of 34 attempts, that's pretty good. So I'm not too worried about that. Um, and what you can do, which is kind of cool, is you can click through here and see just how bad these were, if they were that bad at all. So let's just take a look. Yeah, so that has no chance, And it's a tough enough shot as it is, and if it goes in, it's only worth 2 points. So it's kind of a bad combination. And let's look at the other one. I mean, you know what I mean? But if it's just going to be those, this is actually, I have to say, not bad. The problem again was these all these turnovers. So what you can do is go back into here. I mean, if you wanted to, and you could click through like all of these turnovers. Like you see 23 turnovers. Let's do it by totals here. And you could click through all the turnovers and just kind of view them. And the reason you would want to do that, I mean, as coaches, is to see like which of these are avoidable, like that's like just the travel, right? So which of these are kind of mental mistakes and which of them are just honestly just due to the fact that they're too big, like I don't know about that one, like for example. I don't know what you're gonna do about that, but yeah, I mean, you didn't need to do that, right, Aiden? So it's not all turnovers are not created equal, but the point is that you can click through here and see what all this looks like, which is, and you can make a reel of all of them if you want to. You were a masochist and wanted to see them all at once. Um, so again, you turn the ball over this many times, you're just not going to win. But again, what's good about that is again, you could try to figure out if what's the cause of it. Is it skill? And if the skill issue, then you can train that. Is it a scheme issue? Is it something in your offense that maybe you could change to make yourself a little less prone to turnovers? So that's the use of these numbers is not just for numbers' sake. It's so that you can improve with the knowledge that you have. All right, let's take a look at the individuals in this game. And let's just see if there's any standout or outliers. So Noah, who Jake 3 for 6 from three. That's excellent. That's excellent. I mean, so really, really good. And you know what I also like is that I don't know about the Jordan piece, but the players that are supposed to be taking the threes, like Nick and Jake, were the one taking the threes. So that I like. So I know you're not going to want to hear this, but this really was not that bad from an offensive perspective, with the exception of the turnovers. And the turnovers, obviously, you're just never going to win like that. But, some of them were just due to pure athleticism from the other team. And some of them, though, maybe you could, scheme away, or some of them you can, train away. So it's the way it goes with a game like this. All right, let's look at the TNBA game. You guys lost 59-52. Let's take a look at the overalls in this game. And this again, I mean, you guys were offensively, you were excellent. I mean, this is amazing. Like you this is a real shame, actually. I mean, you had a 56% effective field goal percentage. You also had an offensive rebound percentage of 36%, which is amazing. This turnover rate is just something that's really holding you guys back in a very dramatic way. So this is something that you really are going to need to address. Now, again, at your age group, you're a little more prone to turnovers just because of, you're just a little weaker, as far as your physicality goes. But 30% turnover rate is never going to work. Okay. And it's a shame because you wasted an otherwise really, really good performance. Let's look at the shot chart in this game. Um, I'd like to get rid of these bad twos if possible. I mean, let's look at this. You were 2 4. Look at how well you did from three. I mean, what are you shooting from here for? You know what I mean? It's only worth 2 points, and you're not shooting any better. Maybe that's the best way to describe this. Um, let's go to this individuals from this game. Let's see what that looks like. Look at you guys. I mean, Nick 2 for 5 from three. Noah 2 for 3 from three. Jake, I mean, this is a really, really good performance offensively, but all these turnovers. I mean, you have to. And listen, if you want, you could click through individually and see each individual's turnover. So that's Jordan, you dribbling into three people. That was doomed. Um, and again, I'm not singling you out. I mean, I could do this for everybody in this game, but just to show you what you can do here. Yeah. So anyway, this one's a shame. I didn't even realize that you guys did so well offensively. You're gonna have to deal with these turnovers now. All right, let's look at the last game, which is the role model game. Or this actually wasn't the last game, I think. This was the second game. I don't think I've ever seen a game quite like this. Um, I was watching it and I don't know where all the shots went. Like what happened here? I mean, so I couldn't wait for the stats to come out to see what this was all about. And this one, I mean, you really S the bed. I mean, see, this is what happens. 33% effective field goal percentage. That's really not good. And when you combine that with a 38% turnover rate, I mean, this is doomed. And this team you played was terrible. But you handed them statistically an impossible game to lose. Like, first of all, 0 for 13 from three. Okay. You're never winning 0 for 13 for three. But you think about this. You were 0 for 13 from three, which is really bad. You were 4 for 12 from the line, which was awful. And yet you still only lost by 12. Okay. Because of how bad the other team was. But you just kind of handed it to them because you had a 38% turnover rate. And this is the thing that you have to deal with. But let's take a look at the shot chart from this game just to see. I mean, this is not a bad shot chart. As long as the right people were taking these threes and they weren't all completely contested, I actually don't mind this too much, but it's just the turnovers. Let's take a look at the individuals from this game. Athletes. See, this is when you become an analytics guy, this is what you end up becoming. You end up becoming someone that says, okay, Jake 0 for 7, that's not bad. And you're like, what? Well, who else is going to take these? Between him and Nick, I guess these are the two best 3-point shooters on the team. And 3-point shots are better than these bad twos. So he's the one that's going to have to take them. So you could click through and see like how bad, if any of these were. Like if they're like, I'll give you that shot. It would happen to be an air ball. Let's see. I mean, how can we not allow this shot? That's like an amazing shot to take. He's going to make this shot probably about 35% of the time. He happened to have missed them this time. And that's just the way it goes. So as far as shot selection goes, I know it's kind of hard to believe this, but considering everything that got missed, but I don't have a problem with too many of these. Maybe that was a little quick. Anyway, again, for analysis purposes, you can click through these and look and show the kids and see what's up. All right, let's take a look at you can click through all the turnovers all day long if you want. Let's take a look and may as well see if there's enough seasonality, enough samples to take a look at the whole season. Let's take a look all season. All right, 11 games, we can look. So these are some individual stats that I want you guys to try to accomplish to get that 45% effective field goal percentage, both individually and as a team. So 45% effective field goal percentage corresponds to being able to do one of two things, probably both. You want to be able to shoot either 45% from two, right here, or about 30% from three. So as an individual, depending on what your skill set is, that's a goal that you can try to attain here. Like So for example, and we got three guys here that are better than 45% from two. That would be Jordan, Luca, and surprisingly Nick. Okay, very, very nice. So everybody, all you guys that are below this should be working on all of your finishes. Okay, look at Jake is 38% from two, Noah 35% from two, and from three, Nick is doing very, very well. 33% is plenty. You know what I mean? You don't think that, but it is. 30, if you could shoot 33% from three, that you're doing great even into your sophomore year. Okay. That this is all I'm asking for my sophomores is to have 33% 3-point shooting percentage. Jake, 27. I think this will improve. Um, and yeah, oh, another good one out of Scion. Excellent. And again, we could click through this, and I want to see this game. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go. Oh, was this the one I was at? Okay. Anyway, well, I guess they didn't give him his three. That's annoying. Hang on, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna change these. He's got to be in here. So let's just take a look. So let's look at team final. Let's see if he didn't get the credit for it. Let's see. Ooh, identify unknowns. Let's see. Who turned it over? No, I heard that Scion got one in this game, but couldn't quite find it. Anyway, that'll do it. Listen, you got some tough customers you're playing against, and I definitely think this has been incredibly useful. I hope the coaches are embracing this, but you guys offensively are not actually that bad. These turnovers are just death. So that has to be addressed. But that'll do it. Good luck, everybody.